Today I want to speak about something that goes beyond party lines, beyond politics, and even beyond religion itself. It is about loyalty, not to ideology, not to tribe, not to belief, but to the United States of America and to the principles that have kept it free. Our nation was founded on an idea that no matter where you come from, what you believe, or what language you speak, you can call this land home if you honor its freedoms and respect its laws. But in recent years, something dangerous has been creeping into our halls of power, a willingness to excuse or even promote ideologies that reject those very freedoms. We are seeing leaders who use faith, ideology, or foreign allegiance as tools of division, who elevate belief over liberty, and who place loyalty to doctrine above loyalty to the Constitution. Let me be clear. America does not fear religion. This country was built by believers, by doubters, and by those who simply wanted the freedom to choose for themselves. Faith in its purest form uplifts. It builds compassion, strengthens families, and gives millions a moral compass. But when faith turns into fanaticism, when ideology becomes a weapon, and when devotion to a single worldview replaces devotion to the common good, that is when freedom begins to crumble. No leader, regardless of creed, should hold office if their guiding principle contradicts the fundamental rights of the people they serve. Because the moment a leader uses their beliefs to justify suppressing the beliefs of others, they stop being a representative of the people and start being a ruler of them. In America, no one is above the Constitution, not presidents, not preachers, and especially not politicians. History has shown us that nations fall not from external conquest, but from internal corruption of values. When leaders begin to value belief over liberty, purity over pluralism, or ideology over justice, freedom dies quietly, one compromise at a time. Extremism doesn't always arrive with a sword or a slogan. Sometimes it wears a suit and smiles. Sometimes it speaks of peace but demands obedience. Sometimes it promises moral order, but in reality, it erodes free thought and replaces it with control. When we elect individuals whose worldview rejects the American promise of equality, we are not simply empowering a person. We are empowering a system that sees freedom as weakness. And once that system gains influence, it seeks to silence opposition, reshape laws, and redefine truth itself. That is how nations lose their soul, not with explosions, but with excuses. We, the citizens, have a sacred responsibility to guard the gates of our republic. We cannot sleep while extremism disguises itself as faith. We cannot look away while ideology becomes policy. Every vote we cast is not just a choice of leaders. It is a statement of what we believe America stands for. If we choose individuals who respect freedom only for themselves, then we have surrendered the very thing that makes this nation great. The right to worship freely, to speak openly, to dissent loudly. These are not gifts from leaders. They are rights protected by the blood and sacrifice of generations before us. And yet, each time we excuse a leader who undermines those rights because we agree with the rhetoric or share their beliefs, we chip away at the foundation of liberty. It's time that we remember that the true religion of America is freedom, and it must be practiced by all who serve it. Silence is not neutrality, it's permission. And in this age of noise, apathy has become one of the greatest threats to the Republic. When we refuse to speak out against leaders who betray our principles, we tell future generations that values are negotiable. We teach them that truth depends on popularity. We train them to follow, not to think. And one day, when they find their own freedoms under threat, they will wonder why their parents and grandparents stayed quiet when it mattered the most. We must be better than that. We must not be a generation of watchers. We must be a generation of guardians, because the cost of silence today will be tyranny tomorrow. So where do we go from here? We go back to principle. We go back to truth. We go back to judging our leaders not by what they claim to believe, but by what they actually defend. Ask this of every person who seeks power. Do you believe in freedom for all, or only for those who agree with you? Do you serve the Constitution or your conviction? Do you see America as a home for the many or as a fortress for the few? We can no longer afford to ignore these questions, because America's survival doesn't depend on which religion our leaders practice. It depends on whether they practice freedom, equality, and justice for all. My friends, the world is watching us. They are watching to see if this great republic can still defend its ideals in an age of division and deceit. We owe it to our children and to every soul who has ever fought for liberty to ensure that the torch of freedom does not fall into the hands of those who would use it to burn others. America was not built to be a theocracy, nor a tyranny, nor a playground for ideology. It was built to be a sanctuary for truth, a nation where every belief is welcome, but none have the right to rule over another. Let us remember this always. Faith may inspire us, but freedom must define us. As long as we defend that truth, America will remain not just a country, but a covenant of hope for all of mankind.